My name is Retta. It's red like the color with an A. And just to sound it out, you can say, if you so choose, hi Retta.
Hi Retta.
Thank you. Actually, I'm here to talk to you about a potential concept, idea, program, whatever God leads it to be. This is really not an RFM program. RFM is the organization that my wife is the executive director of. That is actually does a lot of community assistance, and there's several programs. I'm not here to talk to you about that. I think she is very capable, and I would do her injustice if I tried to explain all that she's involved in. So think of this as trying to spark an idea or a concept that talking to community leaders that may think about this and say, you know what, I'd want to look at this thing and see what it looks like. So this has not happened. This has nothing on the ground yet. This is an idea. So I'm going to ask you a question. I actually did not know about the four truths.
Four-way test.
Four what?
Four-way test.
Four-way test of the, I'm assuming of the Rotary in general, but I love them. So let me ask you a question. Is it the truth that there's a lot of need in our community?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Lots of need. I would venture to say that what I do is give money to those that help. Does anybody do anything differently? Or does everybody do the same thing? Whether it be through the church, whether it be RFM, Operation Blessing, you name it. There's a gazillion programs all in need of money, especially in the state of Illinois these days because of political reasons I'm not going to get into. A huge need of money, and a million people come and ask for it. And please know that I'm not knocking any organization down, but what every organization does, including RFM, is help those in need primarily monetarily. Because this is what we can do. They need help with this, they need help with that. Even for Operation Blessing, well, they don't give out money, but they give out food because people can't buy their own food, give out clothing. There's organizations like RFM, things that it does is people need counseling because they are in trauma of this sort or that sort, but they can't afford to pay for their being taken care of psychologically, and they don't fit into an insurance program, but they still need counseling. So people like RFM will pay their counseling fees so they can get the help that they need. So what we do, and I'm a church-going person, I don't know if that makes me good or bad or indifferent, it doesn't, but I don't remember the Bible telling me to give the money to George. Anybody call George here? No, okay. To George, so George can give it to those that are helping. But that's what we do. What I believe God wants us all to do, regardless of denomination or religion, is to help each other. So the idea is, like, how do we do this? We're very busy. I got a million things to take care of. I work, I got family, I got board meetings to go to, Rotary meetings to go to. I have zero time because I'm very busy. So I'm going to hand these out to you. And this is a very short version of the speech, believe it or not. I'm going to explain what I'm handing out. Please pass them around. This is a graph chart. If you have to share a couple, please do. I'm not sure I have. I did not expect that many people, and I'm very grateful that you are all here. If every person has one, please share with 2 or so people. I don't have one, but that's okay. I don't need one. So RFM is an organization that has a lot of people that crosses its threshold, if you may, gets into the doorstep for assistance of all different kinds. There's at least 4 other organizations within the RFM building that do help the community. So there's quite a bit of people that go there. So I've asked my wife kindly to pass this out to every single client that comes in. And it's simply a survey chart of all the little boxes of the graph that you're looking at. Yeah, go ahead. So basically, different areas of need. So if you have the graph, basically this is the list. And without names, without anything, they're told this is a potential source of assistance. What areas do you need help with? And people will pick them. I get them, collate the data. This is about 50 families that got this survey so far. There's another batch of about 85 that I'm supposed to get at the hoping to be about 85 to 100 at the end of this month to add to the data. I do a lot of data analysis for my work. So if somebody comes to me and wants to prove a point, and we all know this with a bunch of numbers, I will never lie to you, but I can position it in a way to support what I want you to think or believe. So data is very funny that way because, again, us people that analyze data can just present it in a certain way. We're never lying, hopefully, but we can present it one way or another. So I did a check on how many people, if for each person that filled the survey, how many areas have they ticked? And 65% had 1 or 2 ticks. There was about 20% that did 3 ticks and 5% that did over 3 ticks. So that tells me that those things is not like somebody in need, oh, I was just like, take them all. So to me, at least gives credibility that this could be a good source of information. Now, if you look at the chart and the categories on the chart, none are money related. This is where people need assistance physically. Like what, Greta? I'm going to give you a very quick example that happened to us over Christmas that I would have never thought about, just to kind of put you in the place or mindset of people's needs in our community. Christmas time, we give a lot of toys available for children in the thousands. RFM organizes this with other organizations. There's other, Dream Home Realty does something similar. A lot of people do this, but the one I know about was through RFM. And Tammy likes to put some hygienic components along with the gifts for the family. One of them is toilet paper. Hopefully you don't find this offending anyway, I don't think it is. So Tammy sent somebody to buy lots of toilet paper, and she likes them wrapped because she hates the idea that out of the package it's nicer that way. And she sent them to Dollar General to buy the single-ply toilet paper so we can have tons of them. So that person took the money and came back with large containers of toilet paper of the 2 or 3 ply toilet paper. And Tammy goes, no, I'm not going to take them out one by one. I put them in there because it's like offending. That lady took Tammy to the side and said, what you don't know about me is 10 years ago, I was not your client, but I was one of those people in desperate need of help. And you know how easy it is for any one of us to go buy single-ply toilet paper and how much we hate using it. Because it's disgusting, it drips, it's just... So the fact that I can get one, it was me, get one roll of 2 or 3 ply toilet paper, that would make me feel like a human being. And it was like, wow, I mean, we never think, I never had a need, I never thought about the toilet paper that I use. I hate sometimes when I go to airports and they are the single ply toilet paper. Everybody has experienced that. Yeah. So automatically it's like, wow, it makes sense. And they wrap them individually by tissue paper, other tissue paper. But the point is, we don't realize the needs of people that are in need because, thank you God, most of us have not experienced that. So I say this to say that the people that need this help, if you look at the categories, they're pretty well distributed. Things like, I'm lonely, I'm bored, I need help with transportation, I need help to go shopping, I need help with somebody to take care of my children while I go shopping. There are things that require time, which, sadly, is the most valuable commodity that any of us want to part with, including myself. But the title being community help is if the community learns how to take care of its own neighborhood, I think there is, I mean, we hate the word communal because we're just not raised that way. But without communal help, like me and 5 other people, I gotta take care of the kids while I go shopping and I'm going crazy. But if we organize it like, okay, Rada, you take care of the kids while we go shopping, and next time I'll take care of the kids while you go shopping. It's simple things that will need organization and dispatching, for the lack of a better word. But it can't happen regardless of the income level that people are in. So this is simply a hope for a program that can start. that I'm looking for community leaders that may think about this and say, you know what, this is worth doing. It's not new, it's not different, but I don't think it's out there. It's like, how can we help each other without money? It's not about money. It will, if it does take off, it will need money to take off, but that's not the problem. It's like getting enough people to be involved, to give their time, to coordinate people having time, if that makes any sense. So what I'm doing is, you can keep these, of course, if you'd like. I'm leaving my business card here on the table. If anybody who wants to take one and think about it and says, you know what, I would love to get involved in this. Nobody is in this. I'm just talking to people. But I would love to see this happen. I think Billy was there on one. I presented that to the several churches. And I just said, imagine 10 churches in one. There's more than 10 churches in East Hall, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine all these churches starting a program as such of like coordinated and 6 months go, okay, to every congregation, take this piece and knock on the neighbor next door and give it to them. Two things are going to happen, I think. Several pieces of paper are going to come to the same neighbor because all of my neighbors go to different churches. So the first thing, if I'm not thinking about God person, that goal is nothing to do with going to church, but at least change the mind of people. I'm like, people are working together to see if they can help me without, nobody's calling me to come to their church. It's just about helping people, number one. Number two, will get you to know your neighbor and hopefully find ways to do community help. And if that starts happening in a community, I think that will flow into the communities that really need help, and then we can help each other through that, other than giving money.